Well, today's prayer is about substance abuse. Heavenly Father, I want my life to glorify you. Give me your strength moment by moment, day by day. You have said that you will provide a way of escape. But with me, I run away. Be with me as I run away from the addiction and run towards the comfort arms of your arms. Amen.
Amen.
On July 30th, for Community and Economic Development, I accepted and approved the Housing Revolving Loan Fund Program Income Report and the Economic Development Revolving Loan Fund Semi-Annual Report for the period January 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2024, and further authorized the electronic submission of these reports. On August 1st, for the Department on Aging, I accepted the resignation of Garth Wadley, full-time recreation and education assistant, effective August 9th, 2024. On August 1st, further, for Job and Family Services, I acknowledge the following new hires as the Executive Director of Job and Family Services, complied with the Board of Commissioners recruitment and hiring procedures for Robin Schwed, Social Service Worker 2, which was a replacement position, effective July 1st, 2024. Cassandra Cahart, Human Resources Assistant, which is a replacement, effective July 8th, 2024. Christina Bender, Clerical Specialist 3, replacement position, effective July 23rd, 2024. And liquor license, I concur with Bainbridge Township trustees in not requesting a hearing on the liquor license being requested by Han Ventures LLC, doing business as Hammer and Nails Grooming Shop for Guys, located at 7175 Aurora Road. And for the Commissioner's Office, I approved and executed the agreement with the Chardon Square Association with the use of the lawn area and sidewalks along Short Court and in front of the courthouse during the Chardon Arts Festival on Sunday, August 4th, 2024, between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m.
Of course, that's in Minnesota, but we've been trying to get these through for a while, but I didn't have the right quorum because Commissioner DeWark, you were not here on the 4th, and Commissioner Taylor, you were not here on the last set on the 25th. So
do you have a motion for the June 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th?
I'll make the motion.
Second,
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett?
I abstain from June 4th meeting.
Yes, except for the 25th.
And then you vote yes.
I mean, you don't have to abstain in a minute.
Then yes.
Right.
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good morning. Today's financials include a supplemental from mental health in their capital reserve fund, increased contract services and project contracts accounts in preparation for bids coming back on the construction of their transitional living center. There's a cash transfer from the Commissioner's Office to the Airport Construction Fund to provide the local match for the upcoming parallel taxiway project. Among the encumbrances are some travel requests, one from Common Pleas Court Drug Court Fund to attend the All Rise Practitioner Training Course for coordinators, and from JFS to attend the County Finance Information Systems Conference. Among the vouchers are $34,629 from the Commissioner's Office to NOACA for the fiscal year 2025 membership dues, and $59,519.34 for maintenance to Meridian Construction Services Incorporated for the Auditor's Office basement restroom remodel project. And finally, a revenue certification from the Commissioner's Office from the Capital Reserve Fund Phase 2 for money that will be transferred from the general fund.
Make a motion to approve financials?
Yes.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Amen.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWark?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, and then the next item on the agenda here is the Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute the revised accounting form authorization forms for Building Department, Department of Emergency Services, Maintenance, and also payroll authorization forms for Building, Community and Economic Development, Dog Warden, Department of Emergency Services and Maintenance.
Make the motion?
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So do we have mental health is here today?
Yes.
Okay, yes, okay.
Morning, Rick.
Morning.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Airport Authority is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the request for partial payment number 2 for Kenny Horr Construction Company for the Hangar 1 improvement project in the amount of $148,351.52.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Discussion real quick. So how, can you give us an update on where we're at on that project?
We are 99.9% finished. There's just a couple of small items that have not been finished yet. One is the locks on the doors,
Okay.
and then going through and developing a punch list to see if there's anything else that's mixed. I took a walk through this morning, and pretty much everything is done and in working order, and the tenants are back in the building.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Did you have to wait for the big door,
Yes.
like a couple weeks longer than expected?
Yes. Originally it was supposed to be here, well, originally they said September. Then they were able to get it moved up to July, and then it ended up, instead of July 15th to July 22nd, I think it was finally delivered.
Okay, and then so is the being partial payment number 2, I would imagine there's a bond that's involved, but also is there a final payment?
There's going to be a final one coming up.
Once they sign off, once we sign off?
Once everything is signed
Yeah.
off, yeah.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to come out and have a tour of the building,
Yeah.
I'm happy to show you.
Yeah, I'd like to check it out.
Yeah, it's a home run.
Great.
Everybody is very pleased with the upgrades.
Good, 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 good. Okay. Very good.
So I guess we need to go over it already?
I have a motion in a second, but when I asked for Commissioner Lennon as well, if you want to discuss.
Okay.
Okay.
So Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Great.
I was talking to Don down there, I think he was asking about something as far as with the garage door, the main hangar door on the other building, was it?
Yeah, he really likes the new doors. The
Yeah.
existing door on hangar 2
Yeah.
is one of the originals. It doesn't
Yeah,
lock.
he showed me, it does,
Yeah,
it seems to be a big issue. What kind of a price are you thinking on something like that?
I
To
was
help with that improvement?
planning on taking some measurements and getting a price, and I was gonna ask for a ballpark from the
Okay.
construction people, since they just put one in.
Yeah, because it seems like that's probably before it becomes a bigger problem down there to just, correct that and be done with it,
I know the door itself is around 30,000.
Okay,
But then there'd be some modifications to the building to make it fit the front. It's got an overhang that would need to go back flush with the walls,
I see.
and then some structural work that would need to be updated. But
Yeah, because if it makes sense, especially, his concern is with the higher winds and the snow blowing in there and everything, it just becomes and you guys rent that section out also, so it'd be something to at least think about too, just so that it doesn't cause more headaches later.
it's on our radar, and
Okay.
probably next year.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, well, appreciate what you're doing there.
Any other questions that I can answer for you? We haven't heard from the FAA on the grant for next year, but
Okay.
that could come down any day.
Sounds good. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate all your support.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Hello.
Good morning.
So this morning, we're here to talk about the International Overdose Awareness Day. We came last year and asked the Board of Commissioners to promote a resolution. And again this year, August 31st, is International Overdose Awareness Day, and it's the world's largest campaign to end overdose. The campaign also acknowledges the profound grief felt by families and friends whose loved ones have died or suffered permanent injury from a drug overdose. International Overdose Awareness Day spreads the message about the tragedy of drug overdose death and that drug overdose is preventable. Local communities around Ohio and the world are coming together again on August 31st to remember those who have died or suffered permanent injury from an overdose. This year's theme is Together We Can, and we're highlighting the strength of standing together in support of those connected to tragedy of an overdose. While every individual action really matters, but coming together as a community creates a powerful collective action. No one should stand alone in our fight to end overdose. For people who use drugs and for those who don't, for heartbroken friends and families of lost loved ones. Overdose can affect anyone, and we encourage folks to remember the determination of our community and to lean into the power that we can have when we work together. So on August 31st, we are reaching out and connecting with the global movement, and we do have several activities throughout the month. I would like to just say, please know that help is available and not to struggle alone. We have a COPE line in Geauga County, and we have the 988 number. Treatment works, then people really recover, and we should celebrate that. And for those family members or friends who also need support, please know that the COPE line and 988 is a place for a resource. So here are some of the things that we did get a grant again this year for $19,000 to be able to promote education and ongoing efforts throughout the year. Rocking with the resources that already happened, and that was a celebration of 5 people who graduated from the New Leaf Drug Court, and there were over 30 local community organizations to help with resource navigation. The Journey to Hope Remembrance event is happening this Thursday. We'll also be there August 8th, 5 to 7 on Chardon Square. And the loss event will include a butterfly release to remember the loss of loved ones, and a picnic and other, again, resource navigation and other support to the community. We appreciate the Commissioner's partnership again this year at the Geauga County Fair, which we know is the oldest fair in Ohio, and the attendance exceeds over 200,000 people. And so for us to be able to partner with you and have resources at the Bell Building really gives us an opportunity to help with spreading resources and places to receive help for those who need support. And August 30th, Lake Geauga Recovery Resource Event is going to be at their Chardon location from 1 to 3. And that is at 209 Center Street in Chardon. And we're planning an educational event promoting family engagement and treatment, and that date will be in September. We are still working on the dates. The location will be at our mental health board, and we are going to provide a virtual option for those who can't attend in person. So I do appreciate, again, having the opportunity to talk about International Overdose Awareness and to partner with the commissioners.
Appreciate you coming in and bringing this up, an important topic. And you know, you just said a number that kind of struck in my head that, you know, the Geauga County Fair, there's roughly 200,000 visitors, and I think, you know, there's probably, I think I saw in the news there was over, 100,000 overdoses this year, I think, or something. So it's a pretty amazing number to think of. And trying to, not only treat drug addiction, but, preventing it and stopping it, where are these drugs coming from? It's different from when I was a kid, the drugs are a little different now. It seems as though some of these overdoses are just by plain accident, which I wouldn't even call it an overdose, I'd call it a poisoning. You're poisoning somebody, you're killing, if somebody thinks they're taking one thing and they take something else and it's got something mixed in, that to me is, that's murder. That's murder. That's not an overdose. So, it also, I was thinking as you were reading, the opioid settlement, money, and how much we still have remaining on that. Would we be able to, contribute towards mental health, toward their advocacy in using some of the dollars? It sounds like they got a grant for $19,000 that I wasn't, and I applaud you for getting that, that's great, but I wasn't even aware they were trying to do that. But are we able to utilize those funds for subjects like this?
I would have to double check with the prosecutor's office, but I believe that's what the overhead money is for.
Yeah. So, I would think, we need to communicate, make sure, that they're out there looking. We've got a pot of money that they could potentially be using for subjects like this, so. I would try and say, let's look into that.
Well, I know this is a very important topic in the county in Ohio, and I'm going to give a little report about the One Ohio 13 towards the end of the meeting, but perfect time to talk about these challenges. We have about $300,000 from the efforts from our prosecutor from the different drug settlements and stuff like that. So I think if we can, before the end of the year, we can, use some of the One Ohio money with $300,000 here and there, even if we have to have vouchers for our Geauga County residents to go to Lake County or to go to here for classes or stuff like that through Geauga Transit System. So anything that we can, just fill in the gaps, the pieces that are missing to get help. So with that, I make a motion to pass the resolution.
Yep, I'll second.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Kristen?
Good morning.
Good morning. Before I move on to that, I just further echo the support of the last item. As Christine knows, this issue impacts, and we see it from the family perspective, parents and children, and obviously drug overdoses, and just like you said, Commissioner, I agree with you 100% that it's a poisoning, and you don't know what's laced with what or what's in what or what's coming across our border. It's a scary time when you don't even know what you're getting anymore. So, but further echo the support. Christine's doing a great job over there at the Mental Health Board. So I appreciate your support for that, because it impacts us as well and our families in this community. So
Yeah, I mean, it tears families apart, and I would say that settlement money too, you're, I'm sure you probably have been proactive in finding ways to utilize these funds in a, proactive way. So,
absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely. So thank you.
Yeah.
So we're here for JFS for the next 3 items. I want to also thank Christy for helping me get this through. She has done a phenomenal job. So the first 2 on here is for the second part 2 of our levy, to get our levy on the ballot. As you know, JFS is supported by specifically Children's Services by 2 levies, a .5 mil and a .7 mil. This action is for the .5 mil to get on this November ballot. Again, we've now received, and thank you, Chuck, for your office getting us it certified, the amount that we will be receiving for that 0.5 mil levy. And so we're asking now for you guys to accept that, acknowledge that, and then further agree to place it on this November ballot to get renewed. And again, it's just a straight renewal.
Yep, absolutely. And just to be clear, this is for Child Protective
Yes, sir.
Services, just so everybody's aware. Okay, I'll make the motion.
Second?
Are you doing 10 and 11 together just for
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. 10 is your certificate of estimated property tax revenue, and 11 is the resolution to declare necessary for the ballot.
Okay, so 10 and 11, I'll make a motion.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Rea?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Good.
All right, thank you very much
Yeah.
for that. And the next one, Commissioner Lennon. Finally getting to this point, we're moving toward just extremely excited
Good.
to ask the board to approve and execute the agreement between you guys and TDA, then Design, for their part in the process of getting an estimate of what it would cost to actually build the youth center. We have been working quite a bit behind the scenes with them and looking at the different options for that property. And so this will allow us to obviously compensate them for their services. But the big part is on that property, which we did not know that it was as big as it was. They're looking at the two different options for placement of the new youth center. One is just behind the current youth center, and then one is kind of, I don't know what you would say, is, I believe it's further south on the property as another location. And in that, getting through this will allow them to hire an estimator and give us an estimation of what those two different options and the costs will be. And we're really hoping to, once this gets signed, to hopefully hear within the next few weeks. And I don't know where the cost of construction is and all that, but to really give us more insight on what the best option is going forward for the location of this building.
Yeah, I think you're doing this the right way, you know, and you know, obviously, we've talked about this for a long time. This has been a dream of yours and a goal of yours for a long time, is
Yes.
to bring this under the roof of Geauga County here and do this in a better way. And I think, you know, we're getting close to budgeting, you know, for this, putting
Yes.
money towards this for years. And, you know, this isn't something you just say, hey, I have this much money, let's go spend it. You know, I
Right.
think you're doing this the proper way, like a business, and getting this, seeing where this comes out. And it'll be interesting to see what they project on that. Do you think that we'll be able to repurpose the current youth center? Or
It's a great question.
or they haven't said yet?
No, I mean, again, it's, first of all, it's you know, my opinion, and I appreciate you taking into consideration, it's your building, so, but with the discussion has been, and I think I've discussed it with all of you guys at different points in time, is the thought was possibly to get next steps out of their current location and the building next to the county home, which I know the commissioners have put money into, and I know that is a building that you probably don't want to put money into. But I know, and you've allowed for them to be there, but I think the current youth center would be a huge, huge upgrade for them. And I'm a huge support of that program, because to be honest with you, all those kids would very likely be homeless or despondent in somewhere else and not contributing to society. And I think the Next Steps program is phenomenal. Most of those kids, they're all working in the community. I mean, these are kids that have aged out, whether it's from foster care or they're otherwise homeless and need a place to stay. And Andrea Pollock, who does an absolute phenomenal job, I think she walks on water, I really do, does a phenomenal job with those kids. And those kids would otherwise, like I said, be homeless. And I know one of the kids works at the hospital, they're getting cars, they're growing up, and again,
Constructive, yeah.
they're doing things, and they could be committing crimes, and we have them off the street, and if we could provide them with even an upgrade, or if the county would, again, I think that would be amazing. I mean, I think Andrea would be singing to the angels, you know, to get that opportunity, just because it would be such an upgrade. But again, I know it's up to you. I know that if one of the concerns is if the new youth center is right behind the current youth center, I think there would have to be some, because those are two populations we probably don't want to necessarily intermixing or what have you. There'd have to be some significant strategy and discussion on how to just manage that. If you can imagine, you have, you know, youth that are troubled that we're trying to work with that are youth, underage, and then you have people that are, you know, have aged out, that are young adults, that are trying to get their life together, and do we want them literally right next to each other?
Proximity, yeah.
You know, so that's why the option of potentially having the new youth center a little bit down the road on the same piece of property, but there's almost like a ravine there in between. That would be a nice natural barrier, but I know with the new youth center, that would require clearing of additional property. I think that would require new concrete for a new drive in there, so I know there may be some additional costs in there, and so that's why the estimator coming back will really be able to tell the tale about that.
Good, okay.
But, I mean, no matter what, we're gonna
Keep working.
have a plan, we're gonna, you know, get it together, we're gonna keep the board informed. We are going to, we'll figure it out. I mean, we have to figure it out for these kids and for these young adults. You know, these kids and young adults, I know we'll provide great services to them, and, you know, we'll figure it out and keep the board informed, and I'm excited to just keep this ball rolling. Again, this is gonna be so important for these kids. I mean, and just a really, and then also provide just improved service, and be able to also bring back youth that we have had to send to facilities out of county because we didn't have the resources here. We're going to be able to bring back youth and serve them in our community, which will really have less trauma for them because we're able to serve them in their backyard. We'll have better plans for them to be able to visit their parents instead of having parents to visit them out of county, you know, far away. I mean, there's just so much to it.
Everything else, yeah. Good, well, thank you very much, and I'm excited to see where that goes.
He's welcome.
Yeah, that'd be the first group I would want to talk to, is the Next Step program.
Absolutely. We've had several meetings with them, and Mark Perzone, who's the head of Family and Community Services that oversees the Next Steps program. Again, they're, just so you guys know, they are eternally grateful for everything you guys have done. I mean, I can't believe they've been in the community for 10 years already, and the commissioners have gratefully, graciously provided them places to be.
Yeah.
And this will be, again, a huge upgrade for them and what their needs are. But again, I can't promise them anything, that's up to you guys.
Yeah.
But I think it's something that we need to figure out. If they can't go there, I would implore upon the commissioners to try to help figure out where else they could land, because I do know that there's been some push to get them out of the county home as well.
That's not ideal setup there. Yeah.
So, but I really would ask the commissioners to continue to support that program.
Yep. Good, thank you.
You are very welcome.
Thank you.
We have a motion.
Yep. I'll make the motion.
Second?
Commissioner Lund?
Yes.
Yeah.
Commissioner Spillier?
Thank you guys so very much.
Right, thank you.
Morning.
Yeah, 13 through 16 today. The first one, we're just requesting the board approve and execute the service agreement with Dexter to provide maintenance services on maintenance department's copier machine for a 3-year period, effective today in an amount not to exceed $10,000.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Lund?
Yes.
Commissioner Rea?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Number 14, we're requesting the board approve and execute the service agreement with Cleveland Vicon Company to perform door, lock, and key services at various county locations per the director for the period of September 8th, 2024 through September 7th, 2026, in an amount not to exceed $30,000.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Commissioner Lennon?
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Number 15, this is the HVAC service agreement we went out to bid for. We're just going through the processes here, and we finally got the contract ready to go. So we're requesting the board approve and execute the contract agreement with SA Communal Company Incorporated to provide HVAC maintenance and on-call services at various county locations for the 2024 through 2027 South HVAC maintenance project in the amount of $94,881.
Just real quick, I was curious, now this did go out to bid, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this was the lowest and best, is that
Yes.
how we came up with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this covers all of the buildings down south, so
Yeah.
dog warden packs and all of that
Okay.
for 3 years.
I was just curious, you know, a lot of that equipment, I think, is train equipment, right?
Yeah.
Garden train.
Yeah.
Are they not the installer of that equipment, Gardner train? A lot of that, or it's hard to say?
Hard to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But they're certified, I guess, with train, I would
Yeah.
assume, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'll make the motion.
Second?
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
And then number 16, we're requesting the board grant permission to advertise for bids for the West Geauga Senior Center condenser upgrade to be held on Wednesday, September 11th at 2 p.m. And this will be advertised on August 15th and August 22nd, 2024, as well as the county website.
Very good. So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Morning. 17 and 18 are in reference to our missions communication systems for both water and sewer system. We were able to finally get the missions communication to get the agreement over to us. So this just covers a 24-year to get that contract to do our monitoring of our alarms and our high wells.
Did we do this last week? Approve that contract?
Last week?
I thought we did it on contract. No? I thought this was just on.
No.
Something different? Okay. All right, I'll make the motion.
Second?
For clarification, Lennon, 17 and 18. correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes. 18.
I thought you were in your, on this sheet or something.
No, for exactly what it was actually. Number 19 on the agenda is requesting the board approve and execute resolution 24-148, approving the use of American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 expenditure for the Services Center drinking water system in the amount of $1 million. So this is using $1 million to perform various projects within the Services Center area, which is the Merritt, Ravenwood. This will include expanding the capacity, adding to our well field reserves for future. In addition, changing and upgrading the filtration systems to help with reducing the amount of backwash that we have to, backflushing that we have to do, upgrading the power controls, basically moving this, keeping the system and moving it so that it's going to be locked in for the next, 20, 30 years.
Absolutely, yep, I mean, this is a use of that money for sure that states it to the T, so I would make the motion.
Second?
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Thank you very much.
All right.
The next item, speaking of opioid settlements, this is another settlement that's out there requesting the board authorize prosecuting attorney James Williams to execute the participation agreement on behalf of Geauga County regarding the Kroger National Opioid Settlement. As the board of commissioners approves the settlement of this measure.
So we're approving
This is
this
just the approving of us being participating in the portion of our settlement.
To accept the money?
Yeah.
so it's settled,
Yes.
and we're, okay. And what do we get, and do we have any details on
I
what?
don't remember if there was a number in that we got, if it was just, we need
it sounds,
Calculation.
it doesn't cost us anything, right?
No.
No.
Just to accept the money.
We don't know any details or no?
This is all we were doing. Right? It's just a participation, we're going to just be a part of it, to be considered for a portion of this loan.
So this is under the state? This wasn't something that we went out on our own and did? No.
I believe it was sent to Mr. Kelly.
So it came to the prosecutor's office and then it was
Yeah,
mailed?
Mr. Washington
Yes.
sent it to Adrian to get.
Is this through One Ohio?
No, no. In the last 2.5, 3 years, Jim Flazen has been collaborating with other counties to go after Kroger, maybe Giant Eagle, maybe Walgreens, and this and that, and every 6 months or 8 months, we'll get a check for $60,000 to $80,000 to $90,000. And right now, before this, accepting of this wave of money, we're up to around $300,000. So this might be, I read it, but I can't remember if it was $50,000 or $60,000 or $80,000.
So it looks like this is being done through the state of Ohio.
Yeah.
So is that, you said the prosecutor is working with a couple other counties to do something? Is that
In the
something?
past, he has.
Oh.
And he's been successful in gathering money for our county.
Okay. I'm not gonna turn that down, I guess, right? I'll make the motion.
Second?
Commissioner Levin?
Yes.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Commissioner's Office requesting the board move into executive session for the purpose of discussing the employment and compensation of the public employee in the building department.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Levin?
Yes.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Myself, Dan Stada, and Linda.
Okay.
Where did Dan go?
This is what.
He was here.
In the-